That your phone is already an extension of you. You're already a cyborg. That phone is an extension of yourself. It's just that the data rate, the rate at which, of the communication rate between you and the cybernetic extension of yourself that is your phone and computer is slow. It's very slow.
Abusive. And this is something that people don't get. They go, oh, well, it's data collection, right? They're exploiting data. This is data about human lives. It is data about people. These records are about you. It's not data that's being exploited. It's people that are being exploited. It's not data that's being manipulated. It's you that's being manipulated.
I try to convince people to slow down AI, to regulate AI. This was futile. I tried for years. Nobody listened.
No one.
But the AI is informed, strangely, by the human limbic system. There's all the things that we like and hate and fear. They're all there on the internet. They're a projection of our limbic system. Your cortex and limbic system are in a symbiotic relationship. And the cortex is mostly in service to the limbic system. People may think that the thinking part of themselves is in charge, but it's mostly their limbic system that's in charge. And the cortex is trying to make the limbic system happy. In some measure, like, it's the success of these online systems is sort of a function of how much limbic resonance they're able to achieve with people. The more limbic resonance, the more engagement. Now, if we do have a third layer, which is the AI extension of yourself, that is also symbiotic, and there's enough bandwidth between the cortex and the AI extension of yourself such that the AI doesn't de facto separate, then that could be a good outcome. If you can't beat it, join it. From a long-term existential standpoint, that's like the purpose of Neuralink, is to create a high bandwidth interface to the brain such that we can be symbiotic with AI. Because we have a bandwidth problem. You just can't communicate through your fingers. It's too slow. It will enable anyone who wants to have superhuman cognition, in theory. That's the theory. And the percentage of intelligence that is not human is increasing. And eventually, we will represent a very small percentage of intelligence.
Google is now investing in superconducting qubits, quantum bits. Microsoft is backing a dark horse, topological qubits. So Microsoft is jumping into the game. Intel is using silicon quantum dot technology to create quantum computers. IonQ is using ion traps. 5 different versions of quantum computers, just like what happened 100 years ago. The next big science project is the Connectome Project. The Manhattan Project gave us the atomic bomb. The Genome Project gave us the human genome. The third great initiative could be the Connectome Project, to map the entire human brain. And that may take a quantum computer. And this means that in the future, communications could be done mentally.
Once you map the brain, then you can begin to connect the mind to computers, telepathy, telekinesis, recording memories, photographing dreams, things that you see right in the Hollywood movies will be able to perform.
What I'm saying is that the internet will be replaced by BrainNet. We will send emotions, feelings, memories on the internet. The first memories in animals was sent on the internet 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we can now upload memories, simple ones, and download memories in mice.
We can record memories now. In mice, for example, we've been able to record the memories ricocheting through the hippocampus. We reinsert the memory in, and the mouse remembered. By recording the memories and then putting it on a tape, and then having these memories reinserted into your mind.
It sounds like there are some ethical issues with that.
What I'm talking about is doing chemistry from first principles. Chemistry reduced to software.
These have to be regulated.
The thing that's going to be tricky here is that it's going to be very tempting to use AI as a weapon. It's going to be very tempting. In fact, it will be used as a weapon. The danger is going to be more humans using it against each other, I think, most likely.
Many people in science have been deceived into believing what they're doing is somehow benevolent for mankind, but this is all wrapped in this whole integrated system of CERN with the doorway or portal, D-wave in communication, and now you've got to tie in the third is the manipulation of DNA. We are seeing the entire agenda coming from these three facets of science, of pushing AI, of replacing the human race, and of terraforming the planet for this new race of beings, which by their own words, they say is their goal. So you have to look at the agenda and their professed goals and say, is this really necessary? Is this really good for us as humans, what they are seeking to do? If you go to the Ray Kurzweil from Google, who also own a D-Wave computer, the 2000Q, they are pushing this whole transhumanism idea.
Right.
Why do we have to replace the human race? Sure, you can talk about curing Alzheimer's and getting rid of cancer and all these wonderful things that are warm and fuzzy that they put out there. But if you look at this carefully and you really take a hard look at it and say, why are they doing this to the human race? This is not purely benevolent. This is for modifying us and changing us to control us, to plug us into the hive mentality. Human race. There's nothing good about what their agenda is in DNA, quantum computers, or particle physics.
The radio frequencies, microwave signals, the entire spectrum of radio frequencies can be used within a certain range to produce all sorts of different effects. So the way it works is a device broadcasts a radio frequency, let's say at an individual, and that radio frequency will hook up with the resonant frequency of the individual's mind or body, or in this case, DNA. And what happens is once the resonant frequency is found in the targeted individual and the broadcast frequency matches up with that resonant frequency, those two frequencies interlock and they can be thought of as one frequency or one energy. And what happens is between the broadcast frequency and the individual that's receiving the broadcast frequency, once it's resonating, once they are resonating together, a super highway of frequency along which information can be sent is created. So once you have connected the targeted individual with the frequency and they resonate together, then you have a perfect avenue upon which to send and receive information back and forth. And that's exactly how they manipulate someone's thoughts. They send voices into someone's head. They manipulate their emotions. They manipulate their behavior. And then that's also how they receive back from the individual in real time the vital signs, the emotions, the thoughts, what the person's seeing, what the person's hearing. And then all that information, of course, is rendered on a computer elsewhere via software, and it can be monitored and tracked in real time. It can literally stop your own thoughts from happening and replace them with other thoughts by sending thoughts to your head. And it's so sophisticated that you cannot tell where these thoughts are coming from. There's no way to discern that they're coming from somewhere other than your own mind. So you can imagine how bad this would be for people that don't even realize this technology exists and are having these thoughts which they think are spontaneous, because being under the influence of this technology now, kind of having been on both sides of it, It can be used to sway people in terms of their opinion, to make them go along with a certain agenda. It can be used to turn groups of people or individuals against each other for whatever purpose. And messing with people's thoughts is really, really concerning, and it is so advanced now that they can do it without people even realizing it's being done.
What if we are able to perfect an in and output system to the brain where you can have Second Life being driven directly from your brain, Second Life the computer.
Second Life being the avatar community online that
Yes. So your thoughts are moving you through a computer, and those sensations are coming back directly into your brain, and your body is just sitting there. This is the Matrix, right? So as you can put things more and more directly or indirectly into the brain, in and out of the brain, does that reality become another consciousness? So I said it's a question. I don't really know what the answer is.
But when you consider that use of it and the fact that it is used for emotion and thought and behavior modification, then we could potentially be looking at many, many millions of people across the country that are under the influence of the technology.
I think the danger of AI is much greater than the danger of nuclear warheads by a lot.
No one seemed to realize where this was going.